Yeah, we've always been talking about the last couple of months about, break-and-enters, violent break-and-enters, car thefts while people are still asleep in their homes. And here's a situation in Lindsay, 3 a.m. on a Monday. A man, 44-year-old, was sleeping in his bed when a 41-year-old man who was wanted by police breaks into his apartment. Some kind of scuffle ensues, and the intruder suffers life-threatening injuries, and both are facing charges. The man whose home was broken into and the intruder himself. And so people are trying to understand, what rights do they have to actually protect themselves? So for more on this, we're joined by former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis. Thanks for joining us here live on CP24. And I'll ask you, I don't know if you are a parent or not. I'm a father of 2 boys. And I got to say, sometimes, maybe just being in this industry, I worry about someone breaking into my home. And what am I allowed to do?
Well, it's a real interesting conversation, Phil, because there's been a couple of cases over the past few years that are somewhat similar in nature. And in this case, my sense is, based on the press release put out by the chief of the Kawartha Lakes Police, is, without saying these exact words, because there's going to be a trial and they don't want to hurt the integrity of that, but was there too much force used by the individual that was protecting themselves? For example, if just say a 10-year-old breaks into your home with a squirt gun, how far are you allowed to take that? If someone comes into your house with a knife and drops the knife, are you still allowed to shoot them and kill them? Are you allowed to beat somebody really badly when the gun's already been dropped and they're no longer a threat? So, and that's the difficulty in some of these cases. You're allowed to use force that is reasonable to protect yourself or protect others. That doesn't mean shooting someone to death that walks into your house with a slingshot. There has to be a line there where it's excessive force used. And my sense is that's what they're claiming occurred here.
Right. Unfortunately, I don't think we have security footage inside the home itself. I guess we'll have to see, firstly, if the intruder survives. It is life-threatening injuries. We don't know. We're not going to hear their take, potentially. And so that's a lot of pressure to put on people to try to, in real time, and strangers in your home, you don't know if they're armed or not. How are regular folks, like maybe, a police officer off duty at home, they might be able to think quickly like that, but how are regular people supposed to decipher those checkpoints there before they act and try to protect their family?
Well, for sure, and I get that. They're going to have to be able to explain later that the amount of force they used was justified to protect themselves. And once again, if people break in houses a lot, and that'd be a frightening thing for anyone to go through. But when you yell, hey, and they run out the door, are you allowed to keep shooting at them? That occurred with one store owner, that the individual was running away, chased him down the street and shot him in the back. So there's really clear lines one way and clear lines another. It's where in the middle it gets difficult for some, and even police officers at times, to make that judgment call. Is my life in danger? Do I need to use force that may take a life? Versus if I say stop and they run away, is that it? Am I not in any danger anymore? And it could be a tough judgment call. In this case, real life-threatening industries. It'll be interesting to find out where was the weapon he was armed with when all that occurred. If it was gone or in control of the whole and excessive force like that, it's not necessary.
Yeah, all right. A former OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis is joining us and giving some clarity on this very much. We do appreciate talking about this. Yeah, it's definitely a talker for a lot of people. All right, thank you very much.